Ladies and gentlemen, the time you've been waiting for, presenting the 3-time NBA champion, the 7-time league leading in points, Yarok, the king, Desecrated! Now I'm going to show you what it takes to be a basketball champion using Yarok. I'm not here to reinvent the rules of the game. This is going to sound basic, but mother trucker, you need to get the basics right to survive in this league. Yarok, the king, is a 5-mana, 3/5 Death Touch lifelink. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So let me get this straight. If Steph Curry enters the battlefield and gets 3 points, instead he gets 6? This is the major league, guys. Why get 1 enter the battlefield when you can get 2? Now let's MJ right into it. First off, you need to get juiced up with your card draw. Baleful Strix, 2-mana, 1/1 flying death touch. When Baleful Strix enters the battlefield, draw a card. You draw 2 cards if Yarok is on the battlefield. Coiling Oracle, 2-mana, 1/1. When Coiling Oracle enters the battlefield, reveal a top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, put that card in your hands. 2-time if the king is on the battlefield. Elvish Visionary, 2-mana, 1/1. When Elvish Visionary enters the battlefield, draw a card. Now you understand why we don't play Cultivate in this league. Do you understand why we rather play these jabronis instead of instant and sorceries that draw cards? Then if you don't, you should ask for a trade right now, dude. It's not gonna work here with your attitude, man. Now this guy here, Fiddletip the Lost. 2-mana, 1/1. When Fiddletip the Lost enters the battlefield, draw a card. If it entered from your library or was cast from your library, draw 2 cards instead. When Fiddletip becomes a target of a spell, shovel Fiddletip into its owner's library. Do not underestimate the former NCAA All-American champion, especially when paired with this little card right here, Guardian Project. 4-mana enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature you control, or a creature card in your graveyard, draw a card. So technically, pay 2, draw 4 cards? This is not fair, man. Somebody called the ref up here. And now Big Mama All-American Women's Champion 4 times in a row. Prime Speaker Zagana, 6-mana, 1/1. Prime Speaker Zagana enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control. When Prime Speaker Zagana enters the battlefield, draw cards equal to its power. So if you got 5 players on the battlefield, you draw 10 cards. This girl can shine once again side by side with the king. Now for the removal jabronis. We got a lot of entries in this year's draft, a lot of talent, but we drafted the best of the best right here for you guys. Ravenous Chupacabra, 4-mana, 2/2 black creature. When Ravenous Chupacabra enters the battlefield, destroy target creature an opponent controls. Duplicant, 6-mana artifact, 2/4. When Duplicant enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-token creature. Shriekmaw, 5-mana, 3/2 fear. When Shriekmaw enters the battlefield, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. Of course, evoke. No defense is going to do the job against these jabronis. They are the best of the best, and forget the rest. Now for your enchantment and artifact removal. The classics. Always here to give you a helping hand. Reclamation Sage, 3-mana, 2/1. When Rec Sage enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment. And Acidic Slime, 5-mana, 2/2 ooze. Death Touch. When Acidic Slime enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. All of the juicy ETBs times 2. You understand now? Now for the ramp. When you need that extra juice for your players, you know what I'm saying. The dynamic trio from the Celtics, Wood Elf, Farhaven Elf, Springbloom Druid are gonna ramp you 2 times because of the king. And Big Papa Bellower himself, the captain of the team. When Woodland Bellower enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a non-legendary green creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. This guy is an all-star, great with the trio I just mentioned, but also extra juicy with our supporting players, Eternal Witness and Reclamation Sage. Now 2 little ETBs that work just great with your team. Runescar Demon, 7-mana, 6/6 flying demon. When Runescar Demon enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. This guy has been on fire since his big trade last December, racking up 2 demonic tutors. That is amazing. And Little Lady Spellseeker, 3-mana, 1/1. When Spellseeker enters the battlefield, search your library for an instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 2 or less. Reveal it. Put it into your hand and shuffle your library. She can grab anything you want, baby. Counterspell, Assassin's Trophy, Cyclonic Riff, Demonic Tutor. She is a valuable rookie in this season, so keep an eye on her, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're gonna take a look at a different strategy, a landfall strategy. Now that has proven to be devastating with Yarok in play. Let's dive into it. Risen Beef, former first round pick from Miami. Risen Reef, 3 mana, 1/1. When Risen Reef or another elemental enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't put that card into the battlefield, put it in your hand. Now this jabroni fits perfectly with Zendikar's Boil. 5 mana, green enchantment. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 2/2 green elemental creature token onto the battlefield. So here's a little combo. You have Zendikar's Royal into play. You play Risen Reef, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield. Then you put a 2/2 green elemental creature token onto the battlefield. Repeat the process. If you have Yarok into play, you do that 2 times, so you're almost gonna empty your library of lands. Nah, this ain't EDH, but it's pretty damn good. Now you can't have a landfall strategy without Azusa. 3 mana, 1/2 human monk. You may play 2 additional lands on each of your turn. Just like Kawi back in Toronto, she is lost, but she is seeking, and I hope she stays in Toronto, to be honest. I know she's been burgeoning, and I know she's on some exploration lately, so I hope she finds what she's looking for. Now, Tatiova, the Cavs captain, after everybody thought she had to retire. Tatiova, 3 mana, 3/3, blue-green creature. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. And I got some insight you can only get here at Silver Wolf Commander. News has it, she's dating Referee, Avenger of Zendikar. 7 mana, 5/5. When Avenger of Zendikar enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each land you control. Landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant creature you control. These 2 lovebirds have been shifting scapes for quite some time now, you know what I mean? Yeah. But someone has something to say about it, and that is Kobe Nixilis the Fallen. Rest in peace, Kobe. Kobe is a 5 mana, 3/3 demon. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may have target player to lose 3 life. If you do, put 3 +1/+1 counters on up Nixilis the Fallen. This guy does not pass, but he don't need to because he shoots at his scores, baby! Now we in the finals, baby. NBA championship is here. This is what you came for. 1 ETB, 2 ETBs, 3 ETBs, 4 ETBs. That's all, folks. We can't get more than that. Right? 5 ETBs, 6 ETBs. There is no I in team, but there is an I in die. Come on, let's win this championship. Okay, now let's calm down just a bit, shall we? Crater Hoof Behemoth, just like Anthony Davis's eyebrow, he's big and he's here to stay. 8 mana, 5/5 haste. When Crater Hoof Behemoth enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain trample and gain +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. Mix that up with Blade of Cells, baby. I was just kidding, guys. Let's get 8 ETBs. And with this, we win the NBA championship. So there you have it. We won the championship with Yarok. I know we left out a couple of good players, but there's so many good plays to make with the king, and we can't have them all right now. But subscribe if you like the video. This is my first YouTube video ever, and I will be giving you more tips and tricks to be a real NBA champion soon.